about to start a video and use the green screen on my iPhone to create infinity loop. I am.
Hello.
Hello? You do not need an Insta360 camera to shoot this infinity loop edit, but it did make it a lot easier. The cool thing about Insta360 is I have a whole second camera to film with. Otherwise, this video edit would not have been possible without two cameras, my iPhone and my Insta360. I got the Insta360 X5 model, the best Insta360, about a week ago, but I made some mistakes that I would like to pass on so other people don't have to go through that. First of all, I'm connecting my device, my Insta360, to the Insta360 app on my iPhone. Then I'm going to the albums where all of my video files are stored, and then I'm going to export them one by one and save them to my camera roll on my iPhone. And I'm going to save them as a 360 video, not a standard, in 4K resolution. And like I said, I will be repeating that process for all the videos, and once I have them all saved in my iPhone, then I'm going to airdrop them to my Mac computer laptop, where I will bring them into my computer, prep them in Insta360. It's very important to prep your Insta360 files in the Insta360 Studio first on your computer, and then you can edit in Premiere Pro and After Effects. This was something I didn't realize in the beginning, and I could have saved myself a lot of tears and frustration if I knew that. It kind of is a tedious process to do this, but it is worth it, because if you just bring your files directly into Premiere Pro or After Effects, you will experience lagging and delaying, and you'll want to die basically. So here I'm trimming my files down in the Insta360 Studio app software on my Mac, and then in the export settings I'm going to the 360 video, so it's not standard, you want it 360, and then the second setting that I do is a ProRes 422 in the encoding format, and then I'm going to add it to the queue. The file has been trimmed down already, so it's in the queue trimmed down, and then I'm going to hit Start All to start transferring the trimmed down files from Insta360 to my computer, then bring from my computer back into Premiere Pro or After Effects. The next step is to apply the Insta360 Reframe plugin to the clips, and you want to select in the settings the first 4K setting. At least for me, that's the setting that works with my iPhone size. And then you want distortion, no distortion. You could change the settings on that. And then I'm going to scale the image larger so it fits the frame. And now you can use the camera operation settings. So like, for example, the pan, you could just pan around the camera. It's really cool. And you could obviously do keyframe animations, but for now I'm just showing you the simple settings. You could tilt up and down. You could roll, which is basically like rotating the frame, and there's FOV control, which like kind of zooms in and out, but it's like a different than scale. But we don't need to get into all that. It just makes it a lot easier to match up the settings. So with the FOV control, it brings up these grids. And with the grid, I'm able to zoom in, but I want the camera to be centered. So I'm going to toggle the keyframe animations of the pan and the tilt to center the camera as I am moving in. As the camera is zooming into the phone, I want it centered, and I'm going to cut the clip of the phone right after it is zoomed in completely. In After Effects, I'm going to go to the Effects tab and search for Key Light, and I'm going to apply this Key Light 1.2 green screen effect to an adjustment layer above the clip that contains the green screen that we want to erase. So you can see the green affects the green in the background, which isn't good. So on the adjustment layer, I'm going to create a mask that is just basically a circular ellipse mask, and I'm going to keyframe the mask as the camera is zooming in so that the mask totally covers the phone as the camera is zooming in. Then when I unclick the visible icon on the very bottom layer, that'll bring up the clip underneath the green screen that shows through, which is a transition for the next clip altogether. The next step is to make myself look like I'm popping out of my phone at the end. So I jumped where my phone was, and I just created a mask to combine myself together, and then I did some slight rotoscoping of the actual jump and keyframe myself going from small to large in the jump, and I kind of slowed it down when I was done with the whole thing so you could see the jump a little bit because it went really fast. And the last step is to show you how I did some basic rotoscoping on this clip. So you can see that my body and shoes are outlined by pink magenta lines. That is the rotoscope. I missed a little spot there, don't tell anybody. But anyway, so if you want to see how the rotoscope works, I'm adding a new stroke, just a random stroke. So I just selected the garage, and you could see that added the garage in the main composition. One of the main takeaways is with the Insta360, it didn't really matter how far away I was from the camera when filming this or where I was positioned, because you could always reposition everything so easily with the reframe plugin. Whereas with a standard video, it'd be really hard sometimes to match up how far you are from the camera and zoom in and scale with the right resolution. So with the 8K resolution on the Insta360 made so much of a bigger difference, sharper, better resolution. 10 out of 10 recommend this camera.